Hi, Taylor T. Carlson back with more Dragon Ball figure reviews for you. Today we're taking a look at another figure in the Tamashii Nation's Bandai S.H.Figuarts collection. This time around we're taking a look at one of my personal favorite characters, Mr. Satan. Mr. Satan, of course, a martial arts champion who ends up becoming a character in the Cell Saga in Dragon Ball. Something of a coward who runs away from danger, but also at the same time does play a role in saving the world on more than a few occasions. He, of course, is the father of Videl, who later becomes Gohan's wife, and he becomes the granddaughter to their child, Pan. Mr. Satan is the source of much of the comic relief later in the Dragon Ball Z series, and he's also appeared in Dragon Ball Super as well. So we'll unbox this figure, I'll show him off, and I'll share my verdict on the figure. Here's the back cover. Got some pictures of him there with a Fat Majin Buu figure. That, unfortunately, is sold separately and kind of hard to find, but again, most of these figures are not cheap. I think I paid like $60-something for this at Brad's Toys and Collectibles here in Vegas. So we'll go ahead and open him up and see how he fares. Honestly, I'm just glad to see this character get a figure. It's not the first figure of Mr. Satan by any means. There was actually an Irwin Toys figure back in the early 2000s released under his edited English dub name of Hercule. And there were also some earlier little like 2-inch collectible toys released in America under the name Mr. Savage. But here, of course, it's a Japanese product, so we've got his proper name restored. Like most of the Figuarts figures, this one has an instruction sheet here that explains what all the pieces are and where they go. And as with most figures in this line, there are a lot of pieces and accessories. Kind of hard to keep track of everything, but we'll do our best. Here he is on the card with all the accessories. Got the plastic sheet that fits over, so we'll take that off. And now let's go through and show off briefly everything that comes with it. By default, he's wearing his World Champion belt, but there's 2 additional belts you can put on. There's this Eagle graphic belt here. Kind of hard to see the detail with the shadows here. And then a more generic, just white martial arts belt. He's got several hands. Right here he's got both a pointing hand and a thumbs up hand. He's got 2 peace sign hands. And then he's got 2 fist hands. And I like how when they made this figure, one thing about Hercule is he's one of the very few hairy characters in Dragon Ball, so they've actually got the little lines of like hair detail on there, so that's a nice touch. He also comes with B the dog. This is the dog that he and Majin Buu rescue after Majin Buu starts turning good, but unfortunately ends up unleashing the evil Majin Buu on the world. His head rotates, and then you can also adjust his head up and down slightly. Very cute little puppy, nice accessory. It goes along with the character. And by default, Hercule, or Mr. Satan, or whatever you want to call him, is wearing a cape, and there's a spot that fits into his back. There's this little, like, maroon-colored square. You can put that in where the cape goes, just to make it fit a little more seamlessly. He comes with 4 face plates. By default, he's got his more neutral expression. He's got this one with his eye partially closed and that loud expression. He's got this one where he's pretty much screaming. And then he's got probably my personal favorite of the faceplates in this set. He's got the mortified look with his eyes bugging out of his face. If they wanted to give this photogenic character justice in the form of these faces, they've certainly done that here. Now we'll look at the actual figure himself. Here he comes. He's got his big white cape on. That's thankfully removable. There is a plastic piece that fits between him and the cape itself. I guess that's to prevent stuff from rubbing off. So I appreciate that they did that. So we'll just take a look at him now. It is a little hard to sort of control the figure and do articulation with the cape on, but it's a great display piece and looks very good. He's got sort of his general expression there. That can move up and down, left and right. He's got, ball joint arms, articulated elbows. Wrists rotate because, again, the hands are interchangeable. He's got his world champion belt there. Ball joint legs, articulated knees, and then like the fronts of his feet are slightly articulated for getting that pose just right. I'm gonna take off the cape just because it's a little hard to do things with that on, and I want to show off some of the other parts of the figure as well. So, okay. There, we got his head off. Actually pulled his whole neck section off. I'm not really sure if it's supposed to do that, but like, I've got some Marvel Figuarts figures too, and they do the same thing. And then his waist is also removable for interchanging the belts, so that's off too. I'll just switch these real quick. Here's the torso section. You can see that spot where that little maroon square fits in, so I'll put that in next. Just makes it look a little more seamless when you're... See there, that fits in there pretty nicely. There, we just changed his belt out. He's got his plain white belt on now. So let's try a different face. Okay, now we got his yelling face on, which really shows off his personality. Why don't we try a different hand here? And here's a look at the little pegs that are on the ends of the arms for putting on the hand. Sometimes it's a little hard to get these on there just right. Here we got him throwing up a peace sign, as if he's celebrating victory. This guy's got a lot of, a lot of charisma and a lot of energy, and those facial expressions are priceless. I'm glad they really got those right with this figure, because that's one of the most important things about the character. Here we got his pointing finger, as if he's pointing out into the crowd, ready to take on all challengers, at least the ones that he knows he can beat. And we'll try another faceplate now. Here we've got his, eye half closed, sort of angry face, like he's ready to go into battle. Again, with opponents he knows he can beat. I'll also switch out his belt, and we'll put the eagle belt on there next. And there that is. Doesn't look a ton different from his regular belt, but I like that they gave options there. And now we will put on the last face, my personal favorite. That, of course, being the mortified expression, like he just saw something that horrified him, or he's about to go face-to-face with an opponent he knows he can't possibly beat. Contrary to popular belief, Mr. Satan actually is a pretty powerful character. He's just got nothing on the Z Fighters and other super-powered characters. I'd say his power is probably on par with a lot of the people we saw in the original Dragon Ball World Martial Arts tournaments. Maybe not quite as powerful as some of the better competitors there, but he's not a weakling, contrary to popular belief. Just weaker than the Z Fighters and associated characters. And now we'll take a close-up look at B the dog. And again, very cute piece of a very cute puppy. I'm glad they included that as an accessory. And as I showed before, his head does nod slightly and he can rotate his head. So that's actually a very nice display piece, and I'm glad they included that here. So overall, I think Mr. Satan is a pretty solid figure. I wish some of the points of articulation were a little more seamless. Like, I wish they'd not made these joint areas so obvious. Like, maybe had the shirt piece coming out a little more to cover those. And then because there's so many points of articulation, sometimes it's kind of hard to stand him up. Disappointingly, he doesn't come with a display stand. So far, I've mainly only gotten those with, like, the smaller, like, kid characters, like Kid Krillin and Kid Chi-Chi. But overall, I think the good far outweighs the bad. This is a perfect likeness of one of Dragon Ball's funniest characters, and I think any fan who collects figures and who wants to get some of the other characters other than people like Goku and Vegeta will be happy that they have the option to get, characters like Mr. Satan who aren't the most obvious. I, for one, am really happy that I got to add him to my collection. Do you collect the Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts figures? Have you had a chance to pick up Mr. Satan yet?
Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also remember to subscribe to this channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos. And give this video a like if you found it helpful or interesting. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.